Anakin Skywalker didn't fall because he was weak, he didn't fall because he was evil, and he didn't fall because he loved too much. Anakin fell because he was raised in a system that taught him the worst possible lesson a boy can learn, that pain is something you suppress, fear is something you hide, and that asking for help makes you unworthy. That system was the Jedi Order, and when you compare Anakin to Luke, the contrast makes something very uncomfortably clear. Anakin is a case study in toxic masculinity, and Luke is a case study in how a boy should actually be raised. From the moment Anakin enters the Order, he's treated less like a child and more like a potential weapon. He's told, fear leads to the dark side, attachment is forbidden, strong emotions are dangerous, and loss should be accepted quietly.
Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose.
But nobody ever teaches him what to do with these emotions, and that's the key failure. The Jedi don't help Anakin process his fear, they just tell him not to feel it. They don't guide his grief, they just shame it. And they don't help him understand love, they forbid it. And that's not emotional discipline, that's just repression. And repression does not remove emotions, it just pressurizes them. Toxic masculinity isn't about aggression. It's about emotional restriction. It's the belief that feeling deeply is a weakness, vulnerability is dangerous, and strength needs control at all costs. And those ideas were exactly what Anakin was taught. For example, what happens when he's afraid to lose his mother? He's told to let go. What happens when he's traumatized by her death? He's told to accept it. And what happens when he's afraid of losing Padme? He's told that attachment is wrong. So Anakin does what boys that were raised on these ideals always do. He internalizes everything, isolates, and starts measuring his worth by power and control.
I will be the most powerful Jedi ever. I promise you. I will even learn to stop people from dying.
Because if he can't feel safe emotionally, then he'll try to feel safe through dominance. And that's exactly how pain turns into rage. The Jedi Council saw all of this and did nothing. They saw his fear, his anger, and his instability, and instead of helping him, they distrusted him, kept him at arm's length, denied him validation, and most importantly, refused him of honest mentorship. On top of all of those mistakes, they made him feel unworthy. They told him he was special but never safe, powerful but never trusted, needed but never understood. And that contradiction is lethal. Because when a boy is powerful but unsupported, someone else will offer him guidance, and that someone was Palpatine. Anakin doesn't turn to the dark side because he loves power. He turns because power promises relief. Relief from fear, relief from helplessness, and relief from being told to let go while drowning. The dark side doesn't tell him to suppress pain, it tells him to use it. And when pain has nowhere healthy to go, it feels like freedom. And that's the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker. He wasn't born broken, he was raised without emotional safety. Throughout his whole life, all Anakin has ever tried to do is prove to his loved ones that he could protect them, and prove to himself that he's worth something. But when a boy with that much promise and that much power feels like he has to constantly prove that he's worth something, there's no lengths that he will not reach to prove his point. Now look at Luke. Luke was not raised in a monastery, he was raised at home. He experiences love, loss, fear, and attachment. And no one tells him that those feelings disqualify him. When Luke is afraid, Obi-Wan guides him. When he's angry, Yoda confronts him, not with shame, but with clarity. When he struggles, he's corrected, not dismissed. Luke isn't taught to suppress emotion, he's taught how to relate to it. The critical difference comes in the throne room. Anakin feels rage and becomes it. Luke feels rage and stops. Not because Luke is stronger, but because Luke was taught emotional awareness, restraint, and responsibility.
Don't give in to hate. That leads to the dark side.
Strong is Vader. Mind what you have learned. Save you again.
Luke doesn't deny his anger, he sees it. And because he sees it, he has a choice. And that's real strength. There's a scene that explains this difference perfectly, and it's not even from Star Wars. It's from the movie Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. The scene follows Batman and Owlman, which are virtually the same person, same intelligence, same trauma, and same darkness, but one difference separates them. Batman is the type of person to look at a broken world and say, if there's darkness everywhere, then I'll become the one who contains it. While Owlman is the type of person to look at the same darkness and say, if everything is meaningless, then nothing matters, including who gets hurt. And that's the line, that's the split. Nihilism versus determinism. Batman absorbs the darkness so it doesn't spread, while Owlman lets the darkness consumes it and inflicts it on everyone else. One turns pain into responsibility while the other turns pain into permission. Due to that revelation, at the end of their fight, Batman says this, which explains them perfectly.
There is a difference between you and we both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
This is also the exact difference between Luke and Anakin. Anakin feels rage and lets it define him. Luke feels rage and refuses to let it decide who he becomes. They're not different because of power, they're different because of where the pain goes. While one contains it, the other unleashes it, and that choice changes everything. Anakin shows us what happens when a boy is raised to be a weapon, while Luke shows us what happens when a boy is raised to be human. The Jedi Order failed Anakin by prioritizing control over care, while Luke succeeds because he was allowed to feel and taught how to act anyway. And that's why Luke becomes the Jedi that the Order was supposed to create. Anakin may have been the chosen one, but Luke was always the key. Star Wars isn't really about good and evil, it's about what happens to boys when their pain is either ignored or guided. Anakin is what happens when masculinity means suppression, while Luke is what happens when masculinity means restraint. And that difference changes the fate of the galaxy. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you reached this far, comment down your favorite Star Wars movie. Also, be sure to show me some love by liking and subscribing. Turn on post notifications if you like psychological breakdowns of your favorite movies, video games, and TV show characters. Also, if nonfiction is more your speed, we got dating and psychological advice. So check it out. We going up for real. I love y'all.